University, the voice of Reichman University.
The Baseline. Stories from the court with Jonathan Rears and Meir Cohen.
So we're back today. The Baseline podcast, episode 9, season 3. We're rolling them out, getting them pumping, and now we got Liam O'Reilly, shooter, right? Kiryat Ata. Love it that you came in. I'm glad that we got to make it happen. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. I love what y'all doing. So
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
So we're gonna get into it. Liam played at Gardner Webb, Division I ball for a couple of years. Then he went for his first year in Slovakia, Cyprus, Germany, Lithuania, Sweden, Hungary, Poland, back to Lithuania for a few games, and then finally made his way over here to Israel. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
There we go. All right, so we're excited to get into it. We're going to cover everything.
Okay, let's do it.
You went the JUCO route first, right? So
absolutely.
Tell us a little about that. We know that every guy on, like, everybody has a different journey, and that's kind of what we like to do here is talk about it and break it down, because no one's been the same at all. Like, obviously, you play in a bunch of different teams, but let me ask you a little bit kind of about your upbringing, and was basketball big in your family? I like to ask that question first a lot because it's different. A lot of times guys, don't play basketball at all. They play a different sport, and then they get into it. But tell us about you and your family. Has always been big basketball?
Right, yeah. I mean, basketball has been huge in my family. I would say just sport in general. I have an older sister, so there's 5 kids in my family. So older sister, and I got 2 older brothers. Then it's me and a younger brother, the one that has the podcast that we just talked about.
Shout out.
Shout out Bunce's Bucket List.
Bunce's Bucket List.
Y'all go follow that and subscribe. And then, so, just grew up in a sport family. I grew up playing soccer. I mean, my mom had us in swimming. We were doing all types of things. So, before I even played basketball, and then I would say like 5, 6 years old, started playing basketball, football. Loved football. American football is one of my favorite sports. So,
Texas.
Yeah. It's a religion out there. So, I just grew up playing sports and watching my older brothers play sports, and then I would say around middle school, really just, fell in love with basketball. Saw my older brother, the oldest one, he really loved it, and I saw how passionate he was. So just got around him and his friends and just learned the game and fell in love. So.
That's amazing. And then, so at what point are you kind of getting this attention or really understanding that that's what you want to do post high school, and that's kind of like the goal to then go to JUCO, because that's the decision you're making to commit yourself to ball. That's a tough decision. A lot of guys have to choose, like, do I care enough about this dream to pursue it? And then for me, when I see a guy go to JUCO like out of high school or something like that, and you correct me if I got anything wrong, but just it shows how dedicated you are to what you're doing, and that's your goal. And so at what point kind of do you understand throughout your high school career that you're locked into playing professionally at any level, and you're going to do what you're going to do to make that happen?
Yeah, I like that. Great question.
Thank you.
Honestly, I just like, I always, when you would get in school, what are you going to do when you're older? I used to think I'm going to play in the NFL, football player, right? So, and then it kind of switched to I'm playing the NBA. So I just always thought, hey, I'm going to play professional sports. I love it. My family kind of always knew I was super passionate about it. I took it really seriously. So, and then transitioning, I grew up, I was always kind of smaller in high school, so I didn't have a lot of recruitment in high school. And then so I didn't even know what junior college was 2 weeks before I signed. It's the craziest thing ever. So, I got recruited to go junior college. I had one JUCO that found me in Austin, Texas. I mean, I had a couple D3 offers, but nothing good. I was like, I don't think I'm going to go to that level. I think I'm better for that. Not that like I had too much ego, but I just knew what I was capable of. So, making that decision, there was conversations with my mom like, damn, can I even, I have no recruitment. It's 2 weeks left of senior year of high school. Where am I going to go play college? Like, can you actually do this? I'm like, Mom, I'm doing nothing else but playing basketball where I can, So once that junior college gave me the opportunity, I jumped on it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then that kind of transition and investing in yourself as a player, like, can you tell us a little bit about that and what it's like for other guys who are maybe in JUCO and the attitude that you have to have when you're there, like to lock in and to prepare yourself for the next level? Like, what's the mindset in a JUCO setting, and is everybody just constantly doing everything they have to do to try and get to the next level? We hear about kind of guys who play in the G League. It's a lot about kind of selfishly because you're always being evaluated. It's like a job interview when you're playing in the G League. So is it kind of similar in JUCO, and guys are like invested in themselves at a point where it's kind of a problem and it's hard to play as a team?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You see that all over the place. I mean, I was very thankful to go to an amazing JUCO. You know, Collin County. It's in North Dallas, not too far from where we were talking about Kyle Edwards. I think he's from that area up there. It's in Plano, Texas. An amazing coach, Jim Sagona. Shout out to him. He really taught me the game. He wasn't like some of these other programs we saw in JUCO where everybody was super selfish. No, we actually had to learn the game. We had to learn the ins and outs of making reads and having each other's back. So that helped. But nah, man, you got to grind it out. Like, you got no strength coach. You got no one telling you to get in the gym. Like, it was all because I really truly love the hoop. So like, I got in the gym. I was always dedicated. But yeah, you got to make it out. And people are selfish. And so like, I remember my big brother, Connor, he used to tell me, look, be selfish. Also be a good basketball player, though. You know what I'm saying? Make the right decisions. And that still translates to me today when I play. Like, yeah, I'm a scorer and I can be selfish, but I need to do what's best for the team. And I need to do what's like gonna be a winning play at the next level. That's what people want to see. That's what the college coaches wanted to see. So I was able to kind of balance that. But people are super selfish. Like, they want to make it, and I don't blame them.
Right. And
I was the same way a little bit.
Over that course of playing JUCO, you learned a lot, and eventually you did get offers. What was the recruiting process like for that next level?
Yeah, it was a little bit slow at first. I mean, I'm coming to junior college. I didn't really understand the landscape of junior college. You gotta there's these things called showcases, and they do them at the beginning of the season. There's probably 2-3 showcases, and all the colleges, D1, D2, D3, NAIA, they're all at these places. So you better, you got to show up to these little, like, it seems like a preseason scrimmage. It's almost like a friendly out here. But those are some of the best times to get recruited. So, I got recruited a lot through that. And then I would say, I had a pretty good freshman year. I was playing point guard a little bit more because we had some injuries. And then I came back for my second season, and then I probably had I would say 5 to 10 small D1 offers, and then probably not offers, I'll say interest. And then I probably had 2-3 pretty solid offers. So, and then I ended up going to Gardner Webb just because it was the best fit.
What was the recruitment like with Gardner Webb and the coaches there?
Yeah, it was good. Shout out to Tim Kraft, that's the head coach, and Jeremy Luther was the assistant coach. Now he's the head coach of Gardner Webb, and Tim Kraft is at Western Carolina, so they're both doing really well. They loved my game. They loved how passionate I was more than anything. They saw the skill and everything, but they just thought I could be a leader and I could help the program. And it was pretty easy for me because they were the hardest on me, and that's what's most important for me. Like, I always tell kids, go where you're going to play. Go where they love you and are going to let you do what you can do, naturally. So that's what happened.
So in your 2 years that you spent there, you had huge improvement from the first year. We were scoring 8 points a game. The second year, scoring almost 15. So when you're there, what's the, is it more an investment in yourself, or is it more of the coaches that say, okay, in your second year, you're going to take a larger role? And, how does that develop? And do you become a leader on this team from a guy who, been seeing things, went from JUCO and then came into college, and now you're a senior, now you're playing in your last year when you're there, and do you become a veteran in a sense on this team, and do you become a leader, and how are you able to take that jump from playing 8 points a game to 15, almost doubling your total?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there was a jump from JUCO to the next level to D1 that I had to kind of adjust to, and we had some, you're playing with better players, so how do you adjust? So I was trying to figure it out that my junior year. We also had a really good point guard, LaQuincy Rideau. He still plays overseas. And he ended up transferring. So when he transferred, it kind of gave me, the ball in my hands a little bit more, and I was able to showcase what I can really do offensively and playmaking. So my coaches definitely were in my ear. Hey, you need to step up this year for us to be successful. I also had another guard who played at Beersheva, David Efiani. That's my guy. Shout out to David. Me and him were the 1 and 2, or kind of the 2 main guards. So we really played off each other well. That my senior year, his junior year. So. It was really fun that senior year to really, have that trust in my coaches and really kind of feel like I was playing back when I was in high school.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then, as the path continues past that, you're in this position where you now kind of have I don't know what options are open for you in the beginning, but it's the decision that you're going to play professional ball, and you end up going to Slovakia, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that process, maybe like signing your first pro contract, and is it something that I was asked again about the family, the people around you are like pushing towards, push towards your dreams, and just that process of actually talking, working with an agent if you had one, and then actually signing the paper and the decision that you're going to make a big change in your life and go play overseas to play ball.
Yeah, big decision, but honestly, it was kind of normal for me because my family always knew this is what I wanted to do. I always prepared like this. I always worked, to get to this point. So they kind of knew, I wanted to pursue it. Obviously, once you get done trying to figure out how to get an agent and stuff, that's difficult. I ended up going with somebody that used to be a JUCO recruiter. So he knew me from JUCO. So he already liked my game, and he talked to me like, when I was maybe a freshman in college at JUCO. So I signed with him. He had a small agency. He's not an agent anymore. I think he's back in JUCO recruiting. But, just signed to someone that I could trust. Again, like I said, that wanted me and that believed in me. So, once I signed with him, he found me that job. He said, hey, look, this is kind of the best I can get for you in Slovakia right now. So, you want to take it? I said, let's do it, man. Just let me get in the door.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was that, change of life like, going from everything's familiar to you. I don't know what exposure you had to like European basketball beforehand or life overseas. So, you go from a guy, you're relatively local, and that's kind of the life, and you're used to things. And all of a sudden you're thrown into this world of, overseas ball and all the challenges that come along with it. And what were some of the hard parts of adjusting for you on your first pro contract?
Yeah, that first year was super hard, man. I mean, I slept in like a room probably half the size, and riding a bike. I didn't even have a car, so it's snowing outside, and you're on your way to practice, and
wow,
and you wipe off your bike. You're having second thoughts. You're gonna be upset a little bit. So I had to go through that grind of, okay, I'm at a low league. This is what it looks like. If I can just get out of these situations and get to where I didn't know, like you said, I didn't know anything really about the European basketball, the style. Each league is different. Which leagues are good? I was just like, I just want to make it overseas pro, right? That's what we think when we're younger, overseas pro. You don't really know about each league. You don't know each playing style and stuff. So, that the main thing just kept me going was the basketball because it was tough. That first year was really tough.
Does Gardner Webb take the team to Europe to play any showcase games?
So we did actually. My year we got to go to Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a mission trip out there because I went to a Christian university, so we got to do some missionary work, and it was amazing. It was really a great time. But we played against some of the DR teams. It was not the best level, but it was got to experience a little bit how European the game looked, and it was like I remember being in some of those gyms, and it was like, what is going on? Just the physicality and just some of the reffing, and thinking guys are just being like way too physical because we're young men. We're playing against grown men. So
and your first year at Slovakia, you're playing 32 games, almost 29 minutes a game. You're playing a lot.
Yeah.
So what did that take on you, and how is the practice basketball life like on the court? I know that here you practice like once a day for an hour and a half. Were they longer in Slovakia? Did you have more basketball on the court?
I did because I had a Serbian coach, and if people know about Serbian coaches, they love to
crazy.
practice. Yeah, and so we'd be in there 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night.
Whoa,
damn near every day. So yeah, it was a grind. It really will test you. First we had a different coach, but once the Serbian coach came in, like midway through the season, I mean, we're doing, preseason stuff midway through. So he really challenged us. But honestly, I'm thankful for him because he taught me a lot about the game that I didn't understand at all. Like, I didn't know how to come off a pick and roll and make a good pass. I didn't know how to do like these simple things that it's just in college we don't do very much.
So what were some of the kind of cultural things that you needed to get adjusted to? I mean, I don't know much about like Slovakian culture. I mean, you imagine that you probably also didn't, but it's just kind of this understanding that when you're playing in Europe or anywhere overseas, you have to, I don't know if this is the route you take. I mean, we spoke to people who say, yeah, you need to be involved in the culture and the people around you. And we spoke to people that say, I'm just in the gym all day and that's how I do it. So you kind of have two different ways you could do it, or you can kind of get lost in the middle between. So was your perspective to try and kind of get involved in some things going on over there? Or maybe you tried and you're just in Slovakia, so there ain't really shit to do. So which one was it for you?
Yeah, maybe more what you said at the end right there. I did try to get out a little bit. I don't think I got out enough. earlier in your career when you're young, I was so focused on the grind and making it. So but also I lived in a small city in Slovakia. Didn't have much to do, like you said. And, it's funny you say that. It's something that's like so important. I tell like younger pros now that it's year 7 for me, like, and especially being here in a place where I can really enjoy like the outside, go to the beach, do different things and get invested in the culture. I recommend people doing that. So I did that a little bit in Slovakia, but I try to do that everywhere I go, because that sitting at the house and just being about hoops all the time, it's too much on your mental, so you gotta unwind, you gotta get out of your comfort zone, and then just like I said, just try to involve yourself in different things that the culture is doing out there. So yeah.
So, I mean, we'll get to each one of these places, but which one of them were you able to like really successfully kind of mix with their culture, maybe that you thought stood out to you?
Yeah, I would say here for sure.
Yeah,
it's been really nice. Yeah, it's been lovely. So, also Cyprus, which is not too far from here.
Right.
So I'm from Texas, man. I'm a warm weather guy. So at the end of the day, I like to be to see the sun and stuff. So, and then other places like Sweden and Poland, like, it's dark and it's cloudy, it's rainy, and that affects, that's big on people and their mental health. So, I would say, yeah, it's been a grind in each country, but throughout all of it, I've enjoyed the different aspects of each culture.
So I was going to ask you brought up Cyprus. That was your second pro year, and you averaged 15 points a game, and you guys played 21 games, but you're also playing 35 minutes a game, which is what you're sitting on the bench 5 minutes of the whole game.
Right.
It's pretty crazy. But you also say that Cyprus was also one of the best places to be off the court. Did that help you on the court?
Absolutely. Yeah, so, I mean, that second year I had a Greek coach. So, they're serving me Greek, a way to start off my career. But, I had to play a lot of minutes. He was very demanding of me, also a good coach, so I learned a lot from him. So, yeah, I definitely needed that off the court to get away. And it was nice to have the beach there and the good weather and, really, really nice people in Cyprus as well. I love my city. I was in Limassol, and it's a really beautiful city. So, not a lot of people know about Cyprus, but it's kind of like a little hidden gem.
Yeah, dude, we were
like
there.
Israel's backyard.
Yeah. Y'all right? Yeah, I would take
It was dope. We had a great
flight,
time.
Huh?
Yeah. What do we do? With ATV around the whole place. There's a lot to do, and you can't do that in Slovakia, man.
Yeah, so it's nice having that outlet off the court.
For sure.
It's very
and
important.
your first 2 teams professionally, very different from your third team. You go to Germany and you end up playing there 11 games, only 18 minutes a game, and you play with Brandon Bowman over there, our guy.
Shout out,
but what was the difficulty and challenges in Germany, and was there something maybe with the coach there, with the team? What happened there?
Yeah, I think like you say, played 18 minutes, and then that's like I feel like kind of when my pro career started, honestly, because then I had to go through some adversity. Right, it was easy at the lower levels. I was the best player without a doubt on the court. With one of the best players on the court. So it was just easier, and then having to play with. Man, I got 6, 7, 8 really good players on my team. The German players are really, really good. I had Bowman, who was a vet on my team, some other vets at like the guard position. So I had to figure out. They had a point guard. We had a point guard, Jonathan Stark. He came to Israel last year, but then he left after the war and situation. But really, really great player, a good person. So I had to figure out how to fit in. The ball's not in my hands a lot. Like, how can I impact the game? And I really struggled. Like, I think I averaged 6 points and just didn't impact the game. And not that I need to score all the time, but I didn't know how to affect the game without scoring, kind of, and being that lead playmaker with the ball in my hands. So big reality check for me. And I'm really thankful that I had to go through that.
Was Germany's league like on a complete different level than Cyprus and Slovakia? Because you do say that it's like the first pro moment that you had, but you also played in the first league in Slovakia and Cyprus.
Yeah.
So what varied from those leagues?
Oh yeah, just the Germany BBL is way better than those 2 leagues that we just talked about. I think that's just ultimately what it is. The Germans are good basketball players, right? And they have some good imports in that league. Usually, it's physical. Everybody's tall, so I just had to, I had to go through. I kind of had to go through those bottom leagues to get to where I needed to go. And then once I got to that league, I wasn't even ready for that league. You know, I thought I was ready for, I need to get to this league. And then, you know, so it was good experience for me.
And talking about adversity, you actually ended up leaving that German team during the year, and you went to Lithuania's second league,
Yeah.
right? And you came back, and you were scoring 12 points a game, and you got your minutes, and you were playing well. So what helped you through that adversity, getting out of your first contract for the first time, I think, in your career, and signing another one during the season?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, Brandon Bowman was a big help during that situation. It was my first time going through it. I didn't know who to talk to. I was talking to him about it. He's like, hey, look, this is how you got to approach it. When I told him I got that offer from the second league, Lithuania, it wasn't necessarily exactly what I wanted, but he's like, hey, look, go get there. My team was kind of set up to win a championship, get the team back in the first league, it'll look good for your resume. And that's ultimately what I ended up doing. So, yeah, my team was really stacked, and we were killing everybody. But, you know, it was a good 2 months in Lithuania, and I was able to kind of finish on a high after a lot of lows that year.
Right. So a little bit about play style, because I'm curious, you know, you talk about how different each league is, and tell us a little about, I guess, your personal development as a player, as someone who's maybe going from playing a lot of time with the ball in his hands as a point to someone who's more of a shooter. Like, go walk with us through a little bit some of your developments, because when you're playing overseas, every place, you know, requires you to just tweak it a little bit. So up until this point where we are in the story of your career, how have you kind of changed as a player, and what were your strong suits maybe when you were in college that has transitioned and changed into early on in your professional career?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that's something I've struggled with, you know, throughout the beginning of my career. Are you a point guard or are you a shooting guard? Kind of both, honestly. You know, people say combo guard. A lot of times I'm like, are they really a combo guard? Like, can they play the one? And that's important. Like, when coaches call me in the summer, hey, I need you to play point guard for 10, 15 minutes to run the team. Like, I can do that now. I think when I was younger, like in Germany in that situation, so Jonathan Stark got hurt and I wasn't able to do that then. You know, I was the point guard. I was able to produce a little bit numbers, but it didn't look good. You know, I didn't know how to control an offense, control a team, and things like that. So I think, and then from, you know, college, I've always been elite catch and shoot. You know, I've always been an elite catch and shoot. So I can really like find windows and find opportunities to score when I don't have the ball in my hands. And that's translated to the next level big time, especially when I'm playing with, you know, as I move up levels and you got 3-4 good ball handlers on your team, you know, you got to find a way to fit in without, you know, pounding the air out the rock.
Right. Well, we'll go through more of these countries, but he brought up the style of play, and you have a style of play that not a lot of coaches like necessarily, right? Bringing up the ball and shooting these threes, which a lot of coaches will say they're not good shots, but clearly you're scoring them and they are good shots. So what were some times that you had to like kind of go through with coaches telling them, like, not necessarily telling them, but showing them like, this is my play style, and like, can you play with this, and how were you able to adapt to that? Because here in Kiryat Ata, you've had games where you just go off, right? Yeah. And sometimes being the one and a scorer is what the team needs. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think, you know, you hit it on the head. I think here, especially, like, Coach Eldad, he's done a great job of letting me play my game. He you know, he really believes in my ability to shoot the ball. So he's been telling me since I got here from the preseason, hey, when you're 3 feet behind the line and they're not next to you, shoot it. Man, I've seen you make these shots every day in practice. You know, so just take the shots, especially as I move up levels. And when I drive in, these guys are bigger. I mean, it's almost a better shot for me to shoot this shot, get a little step back, you know, get some separation from a big guy than beat the big guy and then go to the help and stuff. So, you know, I think he really allowed me to, like, really play my game. And so I'm forever thankful for him for that. But like you said, on other teams I've been to, not everybody likes that. I was in Lithuania for, you know, a month this season, and that's not what I needed to do every time they wanted me playing point guard and you know, playing defense and things like that. So, you know, I think each league is different too. I don't think Lithuania really fit my style that well. So out here, really, you get up and down, and you can, you know, the shooters can really get off and have an impact. So I think I'm just always trying to be aggressive, and that's what Eldad always wants me to do. Hey, man, anytime you can, shoot the shot. Okay, cool. You know, that gives me a lot of confidence.
Right. this is my personal bias. I mean, I think that like a guy like Peyton Pritchard is very similar to you. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
you guys love having the ball in your hands and like creating space and shooting. Like, and yeah, you can be a point guard, you can defend well, but your game is not that. Your game is creating shots for yourself and for others, and you do it at a very good rate. And I personally love that game, but Mayor can attest to that.
Yeah, that's how he plays in the courts too. He shoots
It's
from
funny
half
that you
court.
said that because literally yesterday, Tavon King, he came and he's not playing. He's not playing in the roster right now, but he's still on our team. He's not playing in the games, but he's a younger guard. I've been trying to help him out in the situation he's in. And we were talking about players that we like yesterday, and I literally said Peyton Pritchard. I watch a lot of his film. His ability to be crafty at
So
his
does this
size,
guy.
and he's a stronger guard, kind of built like me. So he's really able to. Yeah, I love his game.
There's
Absolutely.
a lot you can learn from him.
Mhm.
He's really tough.
No, I love watching his game. He's
Yeah.
very crafty, and he's very. I think the thing that I like about his game, he's hunting shots.
Mhm.
Every time he's aggressive, every time he gets the ball, you think he's making a play.
Right. It's so exciting. Every time he takes like those quick forward dribbles.
It's like you know what's going in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the end of the shot clock or things
and
like
he's
that.
not missing 2 in a row. It never
No,
happens.
No, he's a. It's all hard work. Look, he's 6'2".
Yeah, Boston
not crazy athletic.
We're gonna go get those 2 wins in New York now.
Oh, you're a Boston fan?
Yeah, I'm from Boston.
Better
so-
hope.
Might be over for y'all. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a
no,
text at
don't
like
think
4 in the
so.
morning how this guy was
Oh,
so
man.
pissed off watching the game.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the difference between, we know each league is different overall, but as we're talking about play style, again, your specific play style, so staying on that same, tune, talking about an American game versus a European game. Like, we know there's a lot of different aspects of the spacing is so different and the physicality is so different, but what about that have you been able to adjust to kind of to your advantage? I like to ask guys, like, when we just watched a playoff game in Herzliya and it was clear that like the physicality, although it's always physical here, took a level up from the playoffs. And I asked a player, I said, how do you take advantage of that as a player? How are you able to take advantage of someone being aggressive and to make it work for you? So what do you take advantage of? I guess Israel specifically, or really other leagues maybe in Europe. What are you looking for that you can get here because it's in Europe that can capitalize on other players being so aggressive or physical?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. The physicality here is way different than America. I would say it's more pace and space out there. It's more, it's a little more clogged here, and it's more physical. So just you got to be mentally ready for it. Honestly, man, the physical taxing nature, right? Like you said, that Herzliya game. I'm sure guys after the game were exhausted, not only physically but mentally. So just taking care of your body. Lifting weights, doing the things like you can do on your own. And then I think, like you said, like trying to incorporate different playing styles, be super aggressive, especially when these last 3 games that we've played in the play out, it's been really, really physical as well, just because everybody's fighting for something. And, this league, I wouldn't say is as physical as some other leagues I've played in, but like you said, at playoff time, everybody, ramps it up. So it's a different level of physicality. Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally.
And taking it back, we talked about the adversity you had to face in Germany, and you finished the season off in Lithuania, and then the next year you go to Sweden and you kill.
Yeah.
You have probably one of your best years of your professional career. So what was it about Sweden that you really thrived in, and what maybe the game play, did the coach let you play more loosely?
Yeah, Sweden was a big year to kind of grow into that point guard role. Kind of played the point guard the whole time out there, and I tried to, the ups and downs of trying to lead a team. And it was, the numbers look good, but man, it was some rough days, and we lost a lot that year, so it was tough. So just like you said, learning how to, or like I was saying, learning how to adapt to playing the point guard was big for me in my 4th season overseas. I've always been kind of a shooter. They kind of think of me more of a scorer, so I was able to really, play make. I think I averaged maybe 6-7 assists, maybe led the league or was up there in that. So just tried to do different things that I can showcase at the next level. And also, my coach, he let me play very freely, and the team believed in me a lot. So I had like kind of full green light to do what I needed to do.
And how was the city itself in Sweden?
Yeah, it was tiny, man. I lived about an hour away from Stockholm in a small town called Köping. But people were very nice there. It was a very friendly city. It was so cold. And being from Texas, man, you're in snow like up to here every day. So
And all 12 people living in the city were really nice.
Yeah, it was small. It was small, so it was hard. And especially it was my first year having my girlfriend overseas, so it was really hard on her. We're from Austin, Texas, huge city, and then she goes to living in that. It was difficult for both of us.
After Cyprus, Germany, Lithuania, Sweden, Hungary, Poland, Lithuania. It's pretty cold. And then you finally do make it out to Israel. Yeah. Right, Kiryat Ata, and you get that heat again, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very important. Honestly, no, seriously, because even the last year or two in some of these cold places, I'm just ready to
you always get cold
in a good environment.
Yeah, you always get cold feet going to practice games.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It takes a toll. First 10 minutes of basketball play,
you're not even warmed up.
You're not warmed up.
Oh, I used to be in these gyms. Some of these low level gyms I'm in, they don't even have heat on. So I'm in there in a jacket trying to practice. So it gets tough for sure.
Right, and you probably you have a quick 8-minute run, and you're heating up and stuff. You go to the bench and that's it. You cool off. It's tough on a player.
It's definitely a factor for sure.
Definitely come out to Israel. You're in Kiryat Ata. You say it's one of your favorite places that you've been so far. Mm-hmm. What about the league here in Israel have you really liked?
Yeah, I think I saw this league when I was playing in Cyprus. My homie that I play with, my roommate, actually, I was living with him. He kind of got me to start watching European basketball, because a lot of Americans, we still just watching the NBA when we come over here. But he was like, "Hey, watch these leagues, see how they play, see how your game could fit into these leagues." And when I saw he had I think a friend playing in this league, and I watched a couple of games, I said, "Oh, I could play very well in that league," just because the style is up and down. A lot of just aggressive of play and letting the guards play free. So I saw that, and I was very attracted to it. So once I got here and got to see how it really was, I'm glad I made that decision to come here.
Was that the first time you got an offer from Israel, or was it something that you were looking at when you have an option and agents, and were you kind of just waiting for the Israeli interest, and you knew that was a place you wanted to come to play?
Absolutely. Yeah, there was more of that. I didn't have really a connection here or anything. I was just like, man, that play style just looks like it could fit me, And as I got older, like I said, watching more basketball, watching more leagues out here, really studying how they play, seeing where I can be effective. I knew I would be effective here. So once I got that call, I definitely was jumping on it.
That's amazing.
And how has the adjustment been besides the weather? Kind of being involved with whether it's your teammates or things outside your teammates, or have you been able to kind of be a little bit in the culture here in Israel at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was telling him I'm at the beach all the time. I'm going with my teammate Beitner to his Shabbat dinner. Nice. Shout out to Beitner. His family's amazing family. They hosted us very well. So I'm trying to get out as much as I can, and like we said earlier, it's so important to do that during a long season, especially ups and downs. And we haven't had the best season, statistically and everything, where we wanted to. So getting out and having that outlet, it's been great, man. I love the people here. The food has been nice. So it's been really nice.
Right. We talked to John D from Maccabi, and he says when you go to a country, you have to live there, right? You're not just there to do your job and play basketball, which you are there to do, but you also have to live it if you're gonna succeed and thrive there. Yeah. So that's very important. But when you said statistically it wasn't such a great year for Kiryat Ata, so now there's the regulation round. Mm-hmm. And how does that take a toll on a player at the end of the year when it wasn't such a successful year? Are players excited for it? Is it like a playoff atmosphere? You're hyped. It's all right, we have the playoffs, right? We're in the bottom, but we have playoffs. We have to stay in the league. Or is it kind of it's not so exciting to play.
I think, at first you definitely feel that, right? So it was a long season for us, and as not great as it went, we still had a chance at the end to make the play-in. So once I think we had 2 games left in the regular season, we knew we couldn't make the playoffs. Very deflating, right? Very, especially as a player who wants to play in the playoffs and show I think most of my years overseas I've made the playoffs. So it's disappointing when that's one of your goals to start. But then you got to change your mindset, right? I'm trying to help this team stay in the league, not get relegated. So hey, this is our playoffs, and that's what I've been telling the group, and that's what we've been emphasizing. So it's been going well that we switched that mindset, but it's natural to definitely be like, man, why are we out here playing in the playouts or this and that? Right. Some people might not understand how much it means for these teams to stay in the league. So just trying to do my small part to help, get out the stage.
I went to a Fula Netanya game.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was just like a playoff game. Carlos Marshall got ejected from the game. Like these
I didn't
guys
know
are
he got ejected,
they're talking, they're going crazy. Like it's real playoff atmosphere. So I'm excited when I watch these games.
Yeah, no. So I'm trying to enjoy it, right? Like it's I just keep telling them, hey, every game's gonna be different, like the playoffs. You just got to play super hard, and like every games have been pretty much close. I mean, we had that crazy game against Haifa, a week ago or so. So it's
a crazy comeback.
Yeah, it was.
JJ.
And, oh man, shout out JJ. He's had an amazing season. Great guy, and he deserves all that. But like you said, you just got to change that mindset and just compete like it's our playoffs, right? We're out here and we're still, getting paid to do this, so got to take it seriously.
For sure.
When you mentioned before, you're saying talking to the guys, at what point do you become a veteran, a guy who's like leading a group and being in charge? And what's kind of the understanding? I'm always curious about this because this is your first year here. You're not a guy who's been playing in Israel for 5 years. You're a guy who's recently come to Israel for the first time. And how does that adjustment kind of work to become a new guy, but also like a leader and a veteran? Because when you're an older guy, a more experienced guy in the team, you have that responsibility of like showing the guys, how to think and what to do and how to keep their mind sharp. But at the same time, you're new and they may have been there for a while. So how does that kind of balance work between you being a new guy, but also being a veteran and helping the team?
Absolutely. I think it's not difficult with my team because I'm one of the older people, which sounds crazy. I think Yariv is our oldest, our captain. He's 31. I'm 29. So, as one of the vets, and I've played even our foreigners, I have more experience than them. So just that's been something that the coaching staff has been trying to get me to be even more vocal all season. And so I'm really just trying to be that vocal leader, and it's been easy because all the Israeli people, all the Israeli teammates that I have are great guys, and they're not. They're letting me be a leader and things like that. So, trying to find that balance for sure. Not just step over certain players. How can I talk? That's probably the hardest thing. Being a leader, how can you talk to each one of your teammates in a different way that they can relate to what you're saying and they don't get offended or things like that. So, just trying to balance all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really valuable, and that's kind of what we see from a guy who has a lot of that experience. Like that's the role you got to play on a team. Besides for just on the court, how important is it off the court? So, kind of transitioning a little, I'm curious about. We kind of spoke about the play style, but maybe about the coaching that you've experienced here versus other places. And do you find that the Israeli coaches are like a little bit more or less even tactical? I mean, does it maybe obviously varies by coach, but from the organizational standpoint, like what are you preparing once you're in this Israeli league? They play, once or maybe twice a week. So you have a lot of in-between time. So what have you noticed about kind of game preparation and what you had to do to set up that might be different here versus other places?
Yeah, I think I would say it's kind of not as tactical. Like you said, like, when I played in Cyprus, when I had the Greek coach, was very tactical. Sometimes he didn't want me taking a transition three. And I'm like, man, this is like a wide open shot for me. I can make this. So it's just the playing styles are different. And I think everybody out here plays pretty fast and they're trying to get up and down and run that transition. So you got to get back defensively. And then everybody, like you said, has their own kind of playing style and things like that. I think, Eldad's done a good job this year of letting us, or especially myself, have that freedom to take, and make mistakes. And I'm thankful for that. But, when we prepare for these teams, a lot of it is, can you get back in transition defense and stop them on offense? There's so many good, talented players in this league that can score the ball and can get out and go.
Right, you want to get to the half court for sure in the D.
Yeah.
they run a lot here, which is great also because the style of play, a lot of guys say it feels a little bit tailored more to like the American guys, like American
Absolutely.
brand basketball, just like the NBA, and guys like it because you, at the end of the day, you learn a lot from when you get to play freely, right? And you learn what you can do, and talking about Peyton Pritchard again, and like guys like that, when they're able to have that freedom, they can really create good opportunities, just not just for them, but for other guys on the court. So it's cool to see.
I wanted to ask you about kind of the understanding when you're there and you have to formulate this relationship with new teammates, and it's so hard when you kind of just show up and this is the challenge when you're playing overseas. And like you also talk about a lot when you asked about the veteran question, you said you need to relate to each different player, and everyone's so different. And there's so much in and out, guys coming and leaving. And how do you deal with that as a team to try and keep the chemistry up or try and, stay together as a team? You know how important that is. But when guys are coming and leaving every other week, it's such a challenge to be able to balance all that. So how do you balance all that? Kind of, again, this question as a veteran. And, why is it such a challenge for someone to kind of keep this team together in a European league when everyone's coming and going?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think because the turnover rate is so quick, guys can get injured, or if you're not playing well in a month stretch overseas, you could be going home. You could have great 4 months. That 5th month, you're not playing well, you're going home. So, and things like that. It's just you got to stay even keel. You got to stay locked in on the main focus of the team. As long as we've had a lot of that kind of this year. Especially, and even myself, I left the team and I missed the first 10 games of the season. That really hurt us. And so just trying to balance that. I think the thing that I always try to control is just putting my work in and doing the things that I can control, right, to help the team win, and things like that, and being on the same page with the coaches about what we need as a team to get better with all of these people coming in and out, and we've had a lot of injuries this year. We didn't have Raz Adam, which one of our best Israeli players, so that was big. JJ missed a lot of time, so yeah, dealing with that, it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy, but it's very hard. But just trying to see the bigger picture of where we're headed to. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that, honestly, all year. And so that's kind of why our spirits are, as much as we've been down, we're still up, and we're trying to approach each day and keep this team in the league at this point, and just, and win these games.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, every guy we talk to, even you see the depth in the winter league, the top league, and also the depth in the second league. Like, it is there, and it's intense. And it's when you're in this fight, especially when you have such hungry teams. Like, I've had a bunch of guys from Manana and Bowman who was just here. It's like it's close, and it's going to be a constant fight and a constant effort. And it's such a great feature of the Israeli league that they have this depth. And it keeps everything exciting, and it keeps everybody on their toes, which is important.
I was just thinking about that the other day, and I think I was talking to one of my friends about that. I said, this league is crazy, man. Like, the bottom teams can beat the top teams at any moment. I think that has to do with the playing style, honestly, because it's so up and down. There's a lot of good Americans here, like kind of what you said. Americans like to play here because the style of play kind of fits us a little bit better than some of these other leagues do in Europe or overseas. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So at 29 years old, played all over the world. What's maybe like a message you'd give to a young hooper coming in for one of their first years of professional ball overseas?
Good question. I would think, just what we kind of talked about earlier is get involved in the culture, get outside of the game, because, if you focus just on the game, it's gonna be way too stressful mentally, and it can really take a toll on you. So I see some guys that don't make it because of that. They're always missing home. They're always doing this. You got to get out. You got to live life outside of the basketball court. So I would say that's a big thing. And then the second thing is just work on your game. Never stop enjoying why you came over here and why you fell in love with the game, right? So, whether I have good moments or bad moments, I can put my headphones in, go to the gym by myself, and feel like how I used to feel when I was a kid. So, keep that joy and work hard, but also have a life outside of the court.
Well, maybe wear a helmet when you're riding your bike around Slovakia in the freezing rain.
Man, I mean, can you imagine you going to practice and you bust your ass? Yeah, it's tough. Man, it's tough. Yeah,
yeah, no, it's tough, and it's a highlight of the struggle and the ups and downs that it is, and that's what it's all about, and that's what we try to do here on this podcast, and just kind of open it up, because there's so much good, but it also comes with a lot of struggle. It builds people as individuals and their character. There's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows, but it's the journey. That's what you're gonna remember when it's done.
And shout out to y'all, man, because y'all really putting Israeli basketball on the map. So
let's go.
It's amazing to see what y'all are doing. So keep doing.
Thank you. We're trying. There's a market here for English and basketball, and
for sure,
just to guys to see a little bit of the league and the players here, and if we can be a part of that, then that's pretty good for us.
So we'll throw 24 seconds on the shot clock.
Okay.
Let me get some.
You gotta get some good questions.
Yeah, I can't fuck up again.
Oh, yeah.
Bowman?
Yeah, he's not ready to ask the questions, and then the time goes by, and the player says,
"Hey, we gave him a few extra seconds. It evens it out."
Okay.
All right, you ready, Mayor?
Oh, who's going first?
You go first.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yep. Ready, Liam? All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Pre-game music you're listening to?
Drake,
Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron,
Winter League or NBA playoffs?
NBA playoffs,
Country with the best food?
Israel.
Favorite NBA team?
I don't even have a team, man.
Sneaker to hoopin'.
Bulls.
Sneaker to hoopin'.
Kobe's. No, New Balance. Sorry. So I do like Kobe's, but New Balance.
You New Balance hooper or you signed with New Balance?
I can't believe I said Kobe's because I love Kobe's, but no, I'm not signed with New Balance.
Okay.
I wish, yeah. Hey, New Balance, y'all listen to
That's
this.
what I
What are you
thought.
wearing?
It's
Like
like-
Kawhis or?
Nah, I haven't even got the Kawhis. Actually, I don't even really know what. I think maybe they're like the Zach Levines I've been wearing.
But really? They're your
yeah, the
favorite
last
shoe to
2
hoop in?
years I've been wearing New Balance. Man, I get a lot of
Interesting.
questions. People are like, what are you wearing? Like, why are you wearing those? And I'm like, they're the most comfortable. I always grew up wearing New Balance, sneakers, like regular, running sneakers or just casual
Yeah.
sneakers. And then once I figured out, oh, these are really comfortable basketball shoes to play in, and the performance is nice, so I love it.
Nah,
Yeah.
I need some new
I like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
I
Shout
like
out
the
New Balance.
Pumas.
People sleep on them.
The Pumas.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
sleep on those too.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have
Puma
the
Puma has
Clyde
a pretty good
Hardwoods.
collection as well.
Those are really good.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been wearing those since like 10th grade.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I like
Hey,
them.
Puma, if you're listening, man, we would love some shoes.
Yeah.
and New Balance too. Just trying to grow the game of Israeli basketball. So you
Actually, my latest basketball sneaker is a woman's sneaker is Sabrina's.
Yeah, yeah, those are nice.
They're
Those are
tough,
nice. A lot of
low-key.
people say they kind of feel like the Kobe, so.
Yeah, they're light. They're super light.
Okay.
I went to the
like,
store. They were sold out, man. They were sold out for weeks.
Yeah.
But again, appreciate you coming on. I always love to give insight to the Israeli game. And best of luck. We think you guys are going to pull it out.
Appreciate it.
We're rooting for you, seriously. And whatever you do next, man. Like if it's stay here, which would be awesome for us and hopefully for you too. But keep us updated and all the best, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.